Hey, get your forks ready. It's Weather Hotdish. Paul Douglas for Hotdish. Thanks for tuning into Weather Loon. We're glad you're along for the ride. I won't ask if it's hot enough for you. By the way, the polite answer to that question is, oh yeah. The big story, and we are providing continuous coverage here on Weather Loon. The fires up at the Boundary Waters, shutting down the BWCA completely for the first time in 5 years. This satellite image was taken from last night, infrared, so the fires themselves actually show up as that orange color, and you can see the smoke drifting downwind across Ontario, just extending into the Boundary Waters. It even set off a few pyrocumulonimbus, thunderstorms ignited by the heat of wildfires over Ontario. This is going to be the big story here for the next few days. Conditions don't really improve until the weekend. By the way, here in the Twin Cities, it's only gotten to 100 degrees 7 different times since 1990. It happens once every 4 or 5 years. I also want to mention dew points have been in the 60s. So yeah, it's sticky out there. It's unpleasant. But if dew points had been in the mid to upper 70s, we'd be looking at a heat index of 110, 115 instead of 100 degrees. This air mass is more western than southern. It's coming in from Utah, Montana, the Dakotas, low humidity, which is actually fanning the wildfire threat. It isn't coming up from Iowa or the Gulf Coast, in which case the dew points would have been a heck of a lot higher. I found this interesting Axios Twin Cities showing where people don't have air conditioning over the Arrowhead. And that makes sense because Lake Superior is one of the biggest natural air conditioners on the entire planet. There are some stretches across the North Shore, the Arrowhead, where air conditioning is very rare. And so, yeah, it's up around 100 degrees and will be through Thursday, maybe Friday before things cool off. In the metro, more people have AC. Yes, we're in a drought. Conditions have eased in the Twin Cities, parts of central Minnesota, but no moisture in the ground, very little soil moisture up north. And that, combined with very low humidity from this dry western air, record high pressure at 500 millibars, according to the Weather Service. The highest pressure, this heat bubble, highest pressure since records started back in 1948. So the drought obviously setting the table for these wildfires over the Boundary Waters Canoe Area. I do see some slight relief. All the models show some 80s next week, maybe 70s by the end of July. I think the worst of it begins to ebb by Saturday and Sunday as winds turn around to the north-northwest. Everything in purple is extreme heat. This is for Wednesday. And you can see the progression. Twin Cities Metro, urban heat island, adding a few degrees to the heat index. That's why we have purple in the metro. But you can see that conditions remain very hot, major to extreme heat, according to NOAA's heat risk tool. But then look what happens. Starting Saturday, some relief. And by Sunday, significant relief all across the state, just minor heat impacts. And by Monday, we're all breathing a little bit easier, right? That would be nice. El Nino may be responsible for some of this additional heating, a jumbo El Nino. Check out the daily sea surface temperatures so far in 2026 compared to previous years. Yeah, literally off the chart. I'm not a climate scientist. I don't pretend to be, but I follow some climate scientists, including Zeke Housefather. And he says on X, with all the July model runs in, it's likely that this year we'll see the largest El Nino event since records began in the late 1800s, and potentially by a truly mind-blowing margin. The median estimate now is 3.6 Celsius, roughly zero point 0.8 Celsius hotter than the previous record. Previous record was 2015-2016. We are on track for the mother of all El Niños. Temperatures maybe 7, 8, 9 Fahrenheit above average in the Pacific. And who cares? Well, it's going to make things a little bit warmer, and it could make next winter considerably warmer. Could be a Des Moines winter. Some are expecting a Kansas City winter. I don't pretend to know, but certainly strong correlation between very strong El Niños and milder than average winters across the state of Minnesota. And the elephant in the living room, CO2 just passed 432 parts per million, higher than they've been in 800,000 years. It's gone up about 52% since the mid-1800s. And CO2 methane traps man-made warmth near the ground, and so, yeah, that is contributing as well. A lot of factors going into what's happening right now. Is Tornado Alley shifting east? Once again, meteorologists debating this. So far, Illinois leads the nation with tornado touchdowns this year. Not Texas or Kansas or Oklahoma. Yeah, Peoria, pretty good place to chase. This is where all the touchdowns have taken place so far this year, over 1,100 to date. More just south and east of Minnesota. 27 tornadoes so far in Minnesota, 2 of them EF2s in the southeastern part of the state. It's been pretty quiet, certainly in and around the metro. That's your weather hot dish. A little relief on the way by the weekend. Thanks for tuning in.